Are you looking for a soda maker but ain't sure which is the right one for you? You've come to the right place. We've compared three top brands in this category. That includes a model from Philips, the well-known Sodastream, and the absolute premium device, the Aarke Carbonator 3. Which soda maker is the best, and do you really need to get the expensive Aarke? We're going to figure that out right now, so just stay tuned. Okay, before we get into the differences, let's first look at what all three of these devices have in common. Obviously, the first point is a no-brainer. You don't have to lug heavy cases of water anymore. You just make your own sparkling water right at home. That's a huge advantage, of course. The whole thing is also much more environmentally friendly. Instead of constantly buying new plastic bottles, you use reusable ones. And the empty CO2 cylinders aren't just thrown away. They're refilled, or rather, exchanged for full ones. Furthermore, all three models are fundamentally easy to use. In the end, you just have to insert the CO2 cylinder, fill the bottle with water, attach it to the machine, and then you press the button or pull the lever, depending on the model, and that's it. The basic procedure is the same for all of them, whether they're cheap, expensive, or somewhere in between. The core principle is always the same. That also applies to the carbonation level. You can adjust the fizziness continuously, whether you like your water lightly sparkling or very bubbly. With a little practice, you can get it pretty much exactly how you like it with all three machines. By the way, if you're interested in any of these soda makers, check out the description below this video. We've linked all of them for you there. Now let's get to the important part, the differences between the three models. Let's start with the design and materials. This is where Aarke really pulls ahead. Material-wise, it seems to be made almost entirely of stainless steel. In the matte black version we have here, it looks extremely high quality and elegant. The look and build are a bit reminiscent of a small beer tap. It's definitely something that can visually upgrade a kitchen, unlike its two competitors, which are mostly made of plastic. However, the material isn't just important for looks, it's also crucial for stability. With these soda makers, you have to say that a heavier device is actually better, because it stands more securely. And the Aarke, with its solid construction, does quite well here. But believe it or not, it's not quite as good as the Sodastream DUO, which is even heavier. It's not just the materials, though, but also the machine's bulky build and the internal mechanics. Those very mechanics play a major role when it comes to operation and handling. With the Sodastream, we just have to place the bottle in the base, then pull the lid down and lock it. That's obviously much more convenient than with Philips and the Aarke. With those, we have to actually screw the bottle in. The Sodastream also rewards us after the carbonation is done with a sort of Star Wars-esque opening mechanism, where the bottle even tilts forward a bit. This is also much more convenient than unscrewing it like with Philips and Aarke. And then there's the Quick Connect system, which lets us get the gas cylinder into the machine super easily. It's much nicer than with Philips and Aarke. With those, the gas cylinder has to be manually screwed in, and from the bottom, meaning we have to turn the whole unit over. So, long story short, the point for operation and handling definitely goes to Sodastream. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that sounds pretty good, but there has to be a catch. But honestly, at first glance, it's all pretty decent. Compared to its predecessor, the Sodastream Crystal, you can now use the mechanism with both glass and plastic bottles. That's probably why it's called the Duo, because it can do both, unlike with Philips and Aarke. Either way, that's a plus, because those two only offer plastic bottles, which in our opinion is a bit of a shame, especially for the expensive Aarke. This is also reflected in what's included in the box. The Sodastream DUO simply offers more comprehensive bundles. For example, we opted for the Family Pack, which came with 2 glass and plastic bottles right out of the box, but other combinations are also available, whether it's the minimal package for those upgrading or something special, like a bottle holder or a metal bottle. The only one that can really compete here is the Aarke, not in terms of bundles. At best, you can order an extra bottle, but when it comes to color selection, you actually have a lot of options here, which we think is great for such a design-focused soda maker. Philips, just for the sake of completeness, unfortunately offers very few options, but if you dig a little deeper, you'll eventually find one of the drawbacks with Sodastream, the running costs. While the Quick Connect system offers a lot of convenience, it also means you can only use Sodastream's own brand of gas cylinders. The Philips and Aarke, on the other hand, can also be used with universal cylinders, which gives you more selection and allows you to compare prices. Based on our research, you can get your gas 20 to 30% cheaper than if you're locked into Sodastream. Now, we've talked a lot about the bells and whistles, but we haven't gotten to the most important part, the carbonation results. At the end of the day, it's important that the machines are pleasant to use and that they look decent in the kitchen, but ultimately, you have to actually want to drink the water. And what we can say right off the bat is that none of the machines negatively affected the taste of the water. They didn't add any weird aftertaste or anything like that. It's much more about being able to properly control the carbonation level. And yes, as mentioned earlier, you can adjust the fizziness continuously on all the machines, but it's not always easy to hit that perfect spot. So the water is exactly how you like it, whether that's medium, classic, or whatever. To help you get a better feel for it, the manufacturers provide some tips in their manuals. In our opinion, Sodastream and Aarke gave the best advice. They teach you roughly how long and how many times to press the button to get the intensity you want. Philips is a bit less precise here, but on the flip side, you can approach the right level more gradually with Philips because the machine doesn't have as much oomph as the others. With Sodastream and Aarke, the water can get very fizzy if you are not careful. Let's get to the conclusion. We think the result is pretty clear. The GoZero from Philips is the cheapest model in our comparison. It offers solid performance for a fair price and is ideal for beginners who don't want to make a huge investment. The Carbonator 3 from Aarke, on the other hand, is significantly more expensive. But what you get for that money is a visually stunning device. You can't deny that, especially since many other machines on the market are, in our opinion, anything but eye-catchers. But the device isn't just for design lovers. It's also high quality, works with universal cylinders, and offers good carbonation control. The Sodastream DUO also brings a lot of conveniences to the table, especially in operation and handling. In our view, it might not be the design winner, but you can definitely say it dominated this test. It's a lot of little things that give this machine the edge. The fact that you can use glass bottles in addition to plastic ones, or that you don't have to screw the bottles in during daily use, or that the bottles, unlike the ones from Philips and Aarke, are dishwasher safe. So in the end, it's the Sodastream DUO that came out on top in our test. And with that, we can answer the question we asked at the beginning. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be the expensive Aarke, even though it clearly wins in the looks department. On that note, if you're interested in any of these soda makers, check out the description below this video. We've linked all of them for you there. And if you want even more details on any of the machines, you'll find our individual reviews there as well.